Hello and welcome to Electrical Innovations. In this show, I'm going to just be talking about the ministerial letter to the EVHS installers and audit reports email. What a mouthful. But yes, as a OZEV approved installer for EV charge points, we got an email from the Department of Transport, as you can see here on the screen. And all this is saying is it's an audit into recent EV installs that have been carried out by the government. And as you can see, it says here, our Minister, Rachel McLean MP, attached a letter regarding the findings. So we're just going to dig into this and just go over some of the things that have been highlighted in the report, which is quite worrying, really, considering that people should be professional installers, they should be qualified to fit these EV points, and it seems like they're just not, basically. So this is the letter itself, as you can see, headed paper, Department for Transport. As an authorised installer for the home charge scheme, I want to bring to your attention the outcome of the most recent audits. It goes on to say the audits were based on electrical installations and building control, IET code of practice for the EV charge points installations, and here look, are not being met in a number of installations, and that's the key. Now, there's thousands of these installations being carried out, hundreds and hundreds of points being installed every single day, and for the massive majority of them, they are not up to standard. The people who are putting these in are just not doing a good job of them. They're not following the regulations. This includes installations going ahead where there are problems with the distribution equipment. So that means people are installing EV charge points when they've got faulty supplies to the properties. That is not good. Supply equipment is faulty, or examples of poor wiring during the installation, or not even RCD protection. It's pretty bad, really. So these are the guidelines here. There's a link to this. You can get this online, and we'll put a link to this in the accompanying blog post. But also, we got attached the whole report into the email. So you can see it is a lengthy document, 115 pages of what's and why fors, but we'll have a quick scan through it, and I'll talk about what that actually means for the customers, really, because this is what it's all about. This is to keep people safe in their homes, and that's what we do. That's what our job is. We might be electricians, but we're actually there to make sure people are having safe electrical installations in their homes. So here goes. Let's dive on in. Nice and local company just down the road in Loughborough from us. Here's the introduction to the report, some of the highlights of the things that have been looked at, statistics of what's been found, methodology of how they did the auditing, and then the scores of the auditing, examples of the existing installations of distribution equipment, charge point installations, and so on, and then at the end, lessons learned and recommendations. So it is interesting reading. It's also awfully dull and dry. But here we go on the first page, front and centre, some major problems being found straight away. So you can see from this first table, the first page of the document, 371 audits were carried out between July to November 2020, and this is the findings. So out of them 371, 240 was satisfactory on the existing installation, which is great. Existing distribution equipment, a high number that was good as well, which is also good. The charge point installation itself, only 32% were fully satisfactory. So this is the new installation that was carried out, only 32% was fully satisfactory, which is just dreadful, really. That means if someone does 2 a day for a week, only 3 of them have been done correctly. It's just disgraceful. Charge point cabling, again, about half of that was all right, half of it wasn't. Overall audit score, only 17% was fully satisfactory, and out of that, you can see here, then they had 2% were dangerous, and 58 of them, 15%, were potentially dangerous. So what this improvement recommended falls under, we'll see as we go through the report. But overall, it's not really good, is it? Let's be fair. So These guys should all be qualified. They've done the EV course to be able to install EV charge points. So just what's going on. So let's whiz through the report. Over here is just a summary of the things that we find. A key requirement is RCD protection. Although the overall rate of C2 issues for the charge point installation category is not decreased due to changes in other findings such as RCD test failures and issues with sub-main distribution equipment, a number of installations using the correct RCD has improved. So this is basically type A RCDs and type AC RCDs. You can see here, small number of charge points have been installed with only AC protection, which is non-compliant. No charge points were found to have no RCD protection, which is good. Additionally, only 1.1% for installations were found to not have a means of 6 milliamp DC, which is good as well. A lot of the manufacturers have this built in now, so DC fault protection is generally built into the units now. You don't have to provide that separately. Sometimes you still do, but it's only on older charge equipment really. Generally, if you're buying new kit, this comes built in. Certainly if you use us, we tend to only fit equipment now which has everything built in one box. We don't like having to fit separate RCDs, separate load management devices, separate open neutral protection devices. So we try and fit chargers that have that all built in. If a customer wants a particular charger, we can do that for them. It just makes things more tricky sometimes. You can see from the graph here, there's just a summary of the issues going on. Over here we've got the summary of what's gone on. Following up with the installer after no initial response, awaiting evidence of the installer's been back and things like that. So the results of the survey, just general more information about the survey itself, where the audits were found, F I guess we'd come under in the Midlands, is that right? Yeah, G maybe for Derby, something like that. So here we go, another graph of the bits of kit that were actually on the wall when they went out to the job. Pod Point being a vast majority there, look, a big market leader, My Energy up there as well, and lots of other brands in there too. Again, if we could remove this black box, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? See who the installer was and what problems they've been leaving a trail of destruction behind themselves. So as we're going through this document, you can see a lot of it is graphs and tick boxes and things like that, but it does make for really upsetting and also really interesting reading. So when you get down to, I'm looking for one particular graph down the bottom here. When you get down to further into the document, it shows you the information on the actual faults they were finding, and they've got photos of them faults as well. So over here, look, a big chunk of improvement recommended. So these are installations. Green is all good. It's just poor, isn't it? Distribution equipment being in good condition makes a change. I think people have switched on to the fact that they can't install if the installation is not up to scratch, so they just don't. They've got that right. It's a shame they can't get the install right as well. So different types of faults, different existing conditions and things like that. Here we go, this is what we're looking for. So these are photos that people have found when they've audited, which have been left by the installer. So an installer's come to a job with a broken cutout, the service head is actually damaged, and they've just installed to it anyway, they've not been bothered. This one here with exposed live conductors. They're neutrals, but they're still a live conductor. Exposed live conductors there. Exposed installation here. And people have just been installing with these problems in place and not flagging it up. Bonding. No water supply present. Bonding couldn't be confirmed, but present but not satisfactory. Not present at all. So it just makes for worrying reading, doesn't it? Some more photos down here of more problems. Here we go, holes in the top consumer units, blanks missing. These are, code ones. You can put your fingers in and touch live parts. What does it take when you're putting your EV point in to just put a blank in? It's not rocket science, is it? Moving on through the rest of the report, 47 audits with newly installed sub-main consumer units were inspected, found issues of some description, missing labels, cables and termination problems, physical damage on a new consumer unit that is fitted. So who fits a new consumer unit and breaks it, or fits a new consumer unit and doesn't put a blank in? It's pretty bad. And here we go, this is the sort of thing we're up against. This looks to me like it's a brand new two-way board being fitted, already burning out, already signs of damage. No buzz bars, so they've just linked it across at the bottom. It's not good, is it? It's not good. Whoever's done this audit knows what they're talking about. They're using the right words and everything determined properly. So it has been inspected by people who know what they're looking at. Onto earthing systems. PME facilities shall not be used. Protective conductors, contact of charging point, and so on. All the rules and regs as to why you can't export a PME or why you need a device to add additional protection. These are the devices which claim to be compliant. They've got open neutral protection built in. The vast majority, are using a separated TT system still. The vast majority are using open device of some sort built into the unit or added separately. Still some TT installations going on. Lots of graphs, some more photos here, look. A MAT E unit in use, another one here. So they are getting used, it's good. People are doing the right thing. Different types of RCDs, look, here we go. So when you've got an EV charge point, you've got to consider RCD selection. So one of the big things is when you've got a split load consumer unit, so a dual RCD consumer unit, they tend to be type AC RCDs. Now, what you can't do is fit a type A downstream of a type AC. And what can happen is, under a fault condition, the AC RCD can just not see the fault. It just won't operate under the fault condition because of the clash of the RCDs, the way they work, and the DC current that could flow between them. So you can't have those two RCDs in series. So you shouldn't be fitting type A RCD charge points, like the Zappi, for example, has one built in. The Hypervolt has one built in. Most charge points that have RCDs built in are type A. You can't be fitting them downstream of a type AC RCD. So you need to be making sure on these 5.5 split boards, you've got to either change the RCD in the board or find a spare way that isn't RCD protected or put a separate consumer unit in. RCD selectivity, it's all explained here. So while this report is very dry and very wordy, all the regulations are in this report. Every time they find a fault, they've explained the fault in clear terms as well as wordy regulations terms. It's a really interesting report to go through. RCD protecting a number of circuits are the main point of distribution, dedicated RCBOs, different types of RCD arrangements here being discussed. And it's talking about it here, look. In a system with a sub-main distribution, there could be as many as 5 RCDs in series, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Selectivity will not cause a safety issue, but nuisance tripping can result, which is why it's not something we should be doing. Okay, so there we go. More information here. Inspection of the actual charge point units themselves, access issue, height issue, warranty seal issues, all of this, and the problems they've been finding. Grommets not being filled in, glands not being made off properly, water ingress, rusty screws. These things haven't been on the wall long, That one looks like a Zappi. How long's, they've not even been on the market that long. Damage to the equipment, burnt out connections. How bad your connections have to be in that state after such a short period of time. Okay, flying through some more examples of installations here. Poorly installed in bad locations. You know, you can drive into it. This is what they're saying is, as you're pulling your car forward, you can just drive into the unit because it's so low. It needs to be above bonnet height, really. And it's all in the manufacturer instructions as well. All of this is in there. You know, cables drilled through the walls, giant holes. Like, how long does it take? It says here, sealing of holes is a simple and quick task which seems to be missed. You know, it's not good. Okay, so that's the report. This is what we're up against as installers. So when you go online and you see bargain basement EV installs, you get what you pay for. This is all I would say. You've got companies here that are obviously out there doing installs in bulk, which means they're having to send subcontractors to 2, 3, 4 installations a day, and it's reflected in the quality. So when you're looking for an EV charge point installer, find a trustworthy local qualified company. These companies, their whole business is based on reputation and trust. You won't get a local installer who is good quality with really high reviews messing you about. They will do a good job. They'll want to come back and do more work for you again in the future. A subcontractor who's driven 100 miles will not be bothered that next month you might want a socket fitting, the month after you might want a board change. They won't care about that. They're there to smash the install in, go home. That's all they're interested in. So when you're buying online, cheapest EV installations, cheap OZEV grant installations, all those keywords that you're searching for, when you're looking for that online and you're finding these national companies, just bear in mind the service that you're going to be getting and the quality of the installer you're going to be getting. That's not to say some of these companies, you know, they have good installers working for them. I've seen their installs online. I've talked to them in the Facebook groups and things like that. There's some quality installers out there. However, do your due diligence. If you've got a local company doing EV charge point installs, it's going to be a lot better to use a local, trusted, quality installer. You might pay more for it, but you're not going to have your EV charge point burning itself out on the wall with no warranty due to poor installation. So, and this is the thing, if you have a job installed by a poor installer and you have a warranty issue, whose fault is it? You know, how long does it take to sort out? It's not going to be good. So do the work, do the research, find the charger you want, get a good local company to fit it, and you'll be well away. And hopefully your installation will not be appearing in the next version of this letter we get in a year's time. So. Okay, well, thanks for listening. If there's anything we can help with, we're based in Derby, and we cover the Derby and surrounding areas, you know, Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire, North Leicestershire, East Staffordshire. Just give us a call. It's 01332 498 is our office number. We'll be happy to get you booked in, or look us up online. It's elec-in.co.uk. We do all of the charge point installations, so any brand that you've seen that you like the look of, we can fit for you. No problem at all. We'll be happy to help. If you've liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much.